Welcome back to another Roofball Federation of America podcast. I believe this is episode number 8. With me, as always, Adam. Adam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to get the 2024 season started here in a few months.
Yeah, we have some really good news to share on this. Later, our main interview today will be with Roofball legend Jason Richards, and I know you and him go way back, but we'll get to that here in a few minutes. Beforehand, we wanted to talk about some news, do a little dissecting here, and get us as you said charged up for the 2024 season. It's going to be maybe, dare I say, the biggest Roofball season ever. I think
Oh, I think
this should
so.
be
Yeah,
accurate, right?
that's
Yeah.
becoming a bit of a gimme putt in terms of the total number of tournaments at the very least. So, biggest thing, and one of the things that stresses me out more than anything else, is getting that first tournament officially scheduled. Has so many different pieces and parts, people that we want to be able to be there, the broadcast backbone that we need to make sure is good to go, and that's all set. It's going to be on May 4th, 2024 World Championships. Invites have gone out for players already, looking for spectators, looking for people to come out and sort of populate the area. And yeah, so that's very exciting to have that officially on the books.
Yeah, let's so you said invite has been sent out. So one, if you have seen it and you haven't responded, please do, even if that's I don't know yet. We just want to make sure we're hearing from everybody and having those conversations, because if you can't, we have other people we need to invite. So if you're listening to this and expecting an invitation and you haven't got it, hopefully you'll be getting it soon. Time and participation allowed. So yeah, it's super exciting. That just went out a couple days ago. By the time you're seeing this, a week or two afterwards. So that's exciting. Location wise, it's back at the home of Roofball at Willis Park in Beaverton, Oregon. We already have some. I don't know if we want to get into details of who said they're going to be there or not, but we have some people traveling to get here, and fingers crossed, a true world championship.
Yeah, we have at least one Canadian who says he's coming down. He is RSVP'd, yes. And we have another Canadian resident who is from Britain, who I'm Mike Hallman. If you're watching this, let me know what it'll take to get you down here. I'd love to fly the Union Jack for that one. And then there's a possibility of a New Zealand citizen as well. So we're trying definitely to turn it into the closest thing to a true world championship. And like you talked about, guys who made a big dent at the US Open, Darren Gibson, who won that tournament, and his brother Damien are coming out from Ohio. And
And
Jeff
he took
Chambers,
third.
what's that?
And he took third.
Yes, Damien
His
took
brother.
third.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the runner-up, Jeff Chambers, is also coming out. And then Nate Roner, who was the winner of the Southern California Regional last year, he's coming up. My sister's going to play. It's been a minute since she played, so she'll be back
I
in the
did not
field.
know that. Welcome back, Beth. Awesome.
Yeah, and Amy Dieterman will be there, the two most decorated women of all time. And that's just to begin. Derek is going to play, who missed the U.S. Open. I'll be playing. Ruben Shug, who's one of the
I know
maybe
who
the
I'm cheering
greatest.
for.
What's that?
I know who I'm cheering for.
You cheering for me? Thanks, Derek. That's awesome.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
Yeah, Ruben Shug, who is a multiple-time runner-up, and I think at this point he's got to be considered the greatest who has not won a championship. He's playing,
Yeah, I don't think
and
it's close. Yeah.
he's got to be, right? And so, yeah, so people are filtering in. We got about a quarter. I think we got up to 10 people right now that are already booked, and we're waiting for other people to hear back. And to Derek's point, we really specifically picked people based on their careers in roofball, their recent success in roofball, and then we also have a healthy amount of potential alternates, and a lot of you know who you are. And so we're not going to get everyone who we invited. They're not all going to be there. So
we already know some people that won't make it.
Yeah, we already got a few who we know aren't coming. So there are going to be alternate spots, and up to and including day of, as you know, there's 24 people in the field. One of them could blow out a tire. And if you're sitting there in the stands, we need somebody, you might get called into service. So I'm really hoping that we have a really good spectator crowd in addition to playing. So yeah, very excited about that. And I'm excited to see this far out how many spots are already spoken for.
Yep. Awesome. Well, okay. So that, like you said, that's a big news. I think we have actually maybe even bigger news.
We're saving that news, but yeah,
we will hold it right before we get to the interview with Jay. But let's talk about a little bit more in 2024, what we already have kind of on the books, pseudo scheduled, that kind of stuff. So one of the maybe the most interesting roofball tournament that has ever happened in 2023 with Weird Portland United. Can we expect them back? Will we be seeing them again? Any news to share on that front?
Yeah, they had a great time year one, and as did we. And so they knew they wanted to do it again this year. And because of how overwhelming Roofball was for Willis Park last year, we had 4 events. There was constantly something coming up, and Mom and Andy were kind of cried uncle by the end of the year. I told them, hey, love to do it, but we need a different venue. Well, they just came through with the venue this week. It's going to be at Robot Alley over in just north of the Moda Center, basically.
This
And
all makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And they're populating that right now. They're going to build their own temporary target, and it's looks like the first weekend in June. So we're very excited. That was an incredible amount of fun to sit and watch last year. So I'm looking forward to that one again.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, not only to watch and announce. I know you took half of it, and Lauren and I took the other half.
Yeah.
It was a great time. I'm sure it's going to be just that much greater this next time around. So definitely looking forward to that. And I will say, and I don't know how far we need to go down the explanation on this when I say this, but no one has become a really big fan of
No one is a big
Roofball.
deal. Yes.
Yeah, and has been supporting us ever since that tournament on all the social feeds and YouTube and all that. So thank you, no one. All right, without explaining anything else about that, I'm sure it makes perfectly good sense to everybody. Let's talk about some crossovers between 2023 regionals and what we can expect 2024. So in 2023, quick recap: we had a New Jersey tournament, we had a San Diego tournament, we had a Michigan tournament, and then an Oregon tournament, all outside of the 3 majors. So what do we have any of those? Are we doing round 2 on any of those?
Yeah. So both of the main groups that had the first year's tournaments in Michigan and in San Diego are definitely interested in coming back. The folks in Livonia, Ann Irvine, Taylor Evans, they are very, very excited to get going again. If you watched last week's podcast, and we are kind of circling in on a date, probably the beginning of August, to go back to Livonia. So the Motor City Regional will be back. And then Nate Roner, I know down in Southern California, is definitely interested in wanting to host a tournament. The target is still on the roof there at his parents' place. So who knows? Maybe we still go back there. But I think Nate's looking for an alternate venue as well. So
I think his dad is as well.
Yes, yeah. As are his parents. So hoping to go back down there for sure. And then the tournament in New Jersey is definitely not happening simply because the owner of the house is looking to sell the house and move. So maybe we get a chance. I know that he also played Roofball in Philadelphia, so maybe we get something on the East Coast. As of now, that's just sort of a maybe. The only other one
I think if you're selling the house, it's after offer accepted and between closure date. That's the perfect time to have a Roofball tournament.
You got to
maybe after inspection.
That is, yeah, exactly. Yeah, get the inspection done, get the earnest money across, and then go and throw footballs at the roof.
Not the same day as inspection. We don't want that.
No. But the other tournament, which I just named, and if you're watching right now, you can tell me if you like this name, but the West Michigan Regional is confirmed for Grand Rapids. We have a venue, we have an organizer. Yeah. They're talking about how they're going to shoot it for a broadcast. And that is Memorial Day weekend in Grand Rapids. So that one's happening. So we're actually going to have 2 regionals in the same state, but on opposite sides of the state. So that's pretty exciting. And then in terms of ones that are dead set, that's it for regionals as of the moment. But we have a lot of ones that are, I would call.
Well. I'm assuming we could be pretty confident there will be an Oregon regional.
There will be an Oregon one, yes. Site and date to be determined. In fact, I think that very likely that'll be the last regional just like this year. I think it makes a lot of sense for that to be the case. So
I don't know if you can tell in the reflection here, but there may be on one screen I'm keeping an eye on just a replay of the Oregon Regional this last
interesting.
year.
I wonder why that would be. One place that's been suggested.
All right.
One place that's been suggested for that tournament is the Weber Estates. So we'll see if I can.
Suggested by you, yes.
Yeah, suggested by me, and I'm going to just keep my foot on the pedal for that one.
Huh?
But so we got those, and then the sort of the 3 kind of categories in terms of likelihood or where we are in the process. The next one is a town in northern Montana called Havre, Montana, which Derek, you pointed out very recently was like -60 Fahrenheit.
-61, I believe, is what I saw.
-61. Well, we're not going to play in that weather. We're going to wait till it gets a little warmer.
The ball would get stuck.
Our organizer up there, she is very excited. I've sent her the way to build the target, the Evans target. The Taylor Evans design, to send her the information there.
Love it.
I believe she has a venue specifically set up. And then we'll obviously going to work on dates. She's very excited to go after that. And then what's the other one that I'm forgetting? Oh, Seattle. So we have
Yeah.
a good group up in Seattle that definitely is interested. They are looking for a venue, but there are three guys: Doug Webb, Austin Cram, who played long ago back in the day, and then I have some other friends up there who are all kind of collectively working on trying to find where we can play up there. I think that's going to happen. It's just a matter of fine tuning everything. And then sort of on the not as certain front, a woman from Beaverton who moved to Tampa for college. Well, she's out of college now. She has a bunch of friends who want to play, and she's responded very excited to possibly have a tournament in the Tampa area this year. And then the last one is Minneapolis. I have an organizer up there who says not only would she like to have a tournament in Minneapolis, but she knows people in Dallas, Texas, and in Boston who might also be interested there. So a lot of things that are potential out there in the world that obviously I'm going to try to see what I can do to get those to fruition. I don't think every single one of them is going to be a live stream broadcast. Sadly, very sadly, I don't think I'm going to go to all of them because I don't have that kind of travel budget. But just the idea of, maybe getting close to double digits for regionals that would lead
Well,
into the US Open would be amazing.
let's plug the Venmo right now. What's the Roofball Venmo?
Roofball Venmo is just at Roofball.
There you go.
Donations
Let's
are
help
very, very
let's help
happily
Adam
taken.
get
Yeah.
to as many tournaments as possible because he has been at every single tournament that's ever happened.
Yeah, I've
Let's see
already
how
kind of
far we can go.
I've decided mentally this is the year that I miss one for the first time ever.
No,
I mean, if I can
no.
avoid that, that'd be
The
great.
Roofball fans are going to band together and not allow that to
I love it. Yes, just send in your $1 donations and we'll send them all to Delta Airlines and off I go.
And then you said Boston and Dallas. Did I hear Chicago in there? Or is that
Ah,
next up?
I did leave out Chicago. So very early on in the process, I reached out to the Barstool folks and said, "Hey, what is your interest level in being involved with Roofball this year?" Uh, just so you know, I pitched a very, very big deal with a very, very large price tag, and they very friendly, in a very friendly way, said, "That sounds awesome, but we're going to pass on that particular project." But early advanced ideas of a possible Chicago regional, obviously another Midwest city, which would be in the vein of last year, which is they find someone who is willing to host and then they put on the event. And so that's a to be determined. Yeah, also in talks there.
Awesome. So okay, we named a couple cities on the East Coast. There's the West Coast is representative. The Midwest definitely lots of opportunity there. Maybe the Southwest as well. So let's cross our fingers there. But that's not to say that's our only option. So if you're seeing this, you're watching it, you're listening to it, you know somebody who might like to host wherever throughout not only the country, internationally as well. And we didn't even talk about that. I don't know if you want to, but
As
if
Ron
you want to,
Burgundy
you
said,
can.
or even the world.
The world, yes. So we are not that just because Adam said all those cities' names and those locations does not mean that we have closed up shops. Any and all ideas that you want to shoot over, let us know. Like I said, Adam doesn't have to be there. It doesn't have to be a live broadcast. We want to make this as easy as possible. If you want to put on a tournament, we are here to help and support as much as little as you want to. We would just love to see this continue to spread. So you can hit us up at, I think it's RFA roofball at gmail.com, or just go to roofball.org. Big contact us button, click on that, fill it out, and we will get back to you pretty quickly. All right, so those are the regionals, or at least kind of the world the regionals are framing up to be right now. Still a lot of room for more changes. The next tournament after the Worlds, no date is set, but I think we have some pretty cool news about the RFA Cup.
Yeah, first and foremost, it's setting up to be the first major ever that is not in the state of Oregon. So the great Scott Grenstead, who competed at the RFA Cup last year and also played in
Designer
the
shirts. Sorry, go ahead.
made Derek a goat shirt, made stickers, RFA stickers. He is designing and building a replica of my mom's roof in his backyard outside
Say
of
that again.
Columbus. What?
Say that again. Just say it. Just I want to make sure everybody heard what you just
Yeah.
said.
They have the specs. He's working with the contractor. They are building a replica of Willis Park's roof, my mom's roof, in Scott's backyard in the town outside of Columbus, Ohio. And I told him when he first brought this up, I was kind of thinking, well, he's not actually going to do this, but I'll put the carrot out there. I was like, if
Yeah.
you do that, Scott, you can host a major. And so as of right now, the date is the last weekend in June. at the Grenstead Estates in Lancaster, Ohio. I don't know if they're a Lancaster or a Lancaster people, but regardless, that is where we are expected to have the RFA Cup. So our first major, not in Oregon, is going to be a couple thousand miles east of Willis Park.
Awesome news. I mean, in your wildest dreams, do you ever imagine that? Not the location, but just somewhere outside of the normal regional area, slash somebody building a roof to replicate the home of Roofball Roof.
I mean, I've had some pretty wild dreams related to Roofball, like waking dreams. But I will say the specificity of building a literal replica of Mom's is not something that was ever in my fantasies. I figured maybe roofs specifically built for Roofball, or, one of my dreams is that when someone's thinking about building their house, they think, okay, but we need a special area for Roofball. But I never thought that someone would build a freestanding version of Mom's roof on their property. That's intense. That's fantastic.
Yep. And I don't want to speak for you. I know I could speak for you on this, but when that happens, I'll be there. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a must.
looking for that. So again, Venmo is at Roofball, ROOFBALL.
And also, if
help
you got
support.
a business you want to sponsor us, you want to get your logos places,
Yep.
I use the same contact section, and we can talk about that too. We had a smattering of sponsors last year, one really big sponsor last year.
Yeah, if you're interested in one, just donating, awesome. Two, getting something out of that from a sponsorship or advertisement deal, please let us know. So we can stop talking about that now. I know neither of you are salesmen by any means. So, RFA Cup in Ohio, on a new roof designed and built specifically for Roofball, not a Target, like the roof.
The whole roof, yeah.
Insane, yeah. Looking forward to that, and I look at this little payback for our Midwest contingent there that has traveled and will be traveling again for the last two tournaments.
Yeah.
We'll give them
at least it's in their region,
some do here, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll make the trip. I'm not driving with you, by the way. I'm just telling you that right now. And then let's talk about, I think, the big news. I think this is what we were saying before. We're going to get to Jay's interview here in a second. A really good interview. Keep listening. But this is really the big news. So we already talked about the World Championships and the date, but something is going to not coincide time-wise for it, but that World Champion is going to be used again for Adam. This is all you. I'm going to let you make the announcement here.
Well, if you're fans of the movie Dodgeball, you'll know immediately what we're talking about, even if you don't know that it's moved into the real world.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
It's a bold. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a roof ball.
Yep.
But the ESPN The Ocho does their thing showing eclectic sports once a year, first weekend in August. And we are waiting on final paperwork. I got to sign some stuff. But as of this moment, and I'm confident enough to say it right here, Roofball is going to be on the Ocho. The Roofball World Championships is going to be, our normal sprawling 3-hour broadcast. We'll turn that into something that fits into a network half hour. And at some point during that first weekend in August, the Roofball World Championships, the cut down version, will air on ESPN2. So yeah, that's right. That is definitely the big news.
Yes, and we'll talk more and more about this as we get closer to it. Obviously, in May we'll know the big storylines will be there in August, but having something on ESPN, so it's ESPN Ocho, which is ESPN2, will be there. That's an amazing thing. And Adam, I don't know how long have we known each other? However many years, over a decade.
15.
Yeah. So, like whenever you talk to somebody about Roofball, the first thing I think that comes to people's minds is basketball.
Yeah.
I think the second thing that comes to their mind is, why isn't this on the Ocho?
Yeah.
And I think most of the time people are like, they say that joking, but it's a true thing. Like, why, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of people have said that or thought it. So there is actually something there. You and I have had that conversation. Sometimes it was probably like, yeah, it should be on the Ocho, slap on the back kind of thing. Now you have a history of the ESPN, so you actually knew, like, well, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But this is actually happening now. And it's not a streaming service. I mean, we've broadcast tournaments on Barstool, which, their viewership is, I don't know how many times bigger than ours. We had a viral video. That's all online stuff. This is taking back to your traditional, cable in this type of way and getting a whole new audience on the sport. And we'll talk about future iterations of this and what that could mean moving forward. But this is really, last year, 2020, there was a huge step a monumental step forward for Roofball. This is shaping up to be another one, and you're having that kind of sequential, exponential kind of things happening. Um, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you, and I'm glad I'm along for the ride.
Well, I'm thankful for you for being the partner in crime more so than anybody else for the last decade and a half, and just everyone who has encouraged Roofball, has come out to play in a tournament. Certainly, the organizers who have jumped in to do regionals and jumped in to just be a part of this thing, especially people. I'm finding this to be one of those things where there are people who are invested in our success, just sort of mentally. They see what we're doing, they like it, and they want it to succeed. And every little bit, all the little clicks, sometimes the $1 donations, all that stuff, it does two things. First of all, it actually fuels us financially, but it also fuels us karmically. It becomes a thing where we get that, okay, there's more people than just us who like this thing, and we have someone to make it for beyond just making it for ourselves, which we would do anyway. But it's
Yeah,
great to know that it's going on and growing. And Derek, to your point, last year, 4 tournaments outside of the state of Oregon and a tournament on Barstool, that was unbelievable. If we turn that into, 8, 9, 10 tournaments outside of the state, including a major, and air on ESPN2, that is definitely another big step forward. And I think a step toward more legitimacy and certainly more eyeballs for people that would help to support Roofball, which is ultimately it's getting Roofball out there so that lots of people are seeing and enjoying, and this thing can become something that, if my life stays exactly as it is, but Roofball is enormous, huge win. I'd love to have that happen. So I love that it's growing organically. I love that it's growing sort of, bits and pieces, and people are seeing other people and helping each other, putting on their own tournaments and getting their own targets, all the stuff that you need. Watching people put their energy into it and be excited about it is incredible. It really is.
it is. So if you want to help out, and not from a financial standpoint, share the video, share the content, the stuff we're doing. That helps as well. That spreads the word, and it'll just make this even more impactful as we go.
Well, and I'll say that, they obviously for anything that we do like this, the single biggest positive shock to the system is if someone came in and dropped a bunch of cash on us. But I will say that if you're thinking you're going to do one of two things, and one of them is you're going to throw $20 at the venue, and the other one is you're going to have people over at your house to play Roofball, do the second one. Even if we never see it, even if you don't film it, just play some Roofball, have some fun. That makes me happier than any kind of, well, maybe not any kind of donation, but the idea that there are people playing this game somewhere else just delights me to no end.
What I will say on top of that is, if you go do that, actually do film that and let us know, and let
Oh,
us
sure. Yeah,
have the
absolutely.
video
Yeah.
share. But
Yeah.
but yeah, all for the good of the game. It's amazing. So unless there's anything else you want to wrap up on, we'll just get right into the interview with Jay. So here we go. Interview with Roofball legend Jason Richards. All right. Here we are with our guest for this episode, 3-time world champion Jason Richards. Jason, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Derek. Thanks for asking. I got the Texans, won their wild card game last week, and heading into the divisional round against the Ravens tomorrow. So I'm excited.
Well, let's start here, because by the time people see this, that game will have happened. So let's get a prediction right off the bat.
Ooh, I like it.
Well, the last I looked, the Ravens were a 12.8 or 12 or 13-point favorite.
Wow.
And that's as of like an hour or two ago. So, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go Texans by, let's go 31-27 Texans. That's my prediction.
Bold. I love it.
All right. So we will, if that goes right or terribly wrong, either way, we'll cut that and put it out on the channel as a short, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
We could just start a gambling channel right now, Adam.
I like it. I like it.
All right. Jay, let's just dive into it here. Let it tell us who you are, where you're at, and what are you up to in life in general?
Yeah, so my name's Jason Richards. I go by Jay to the people closest to me. I live in Houston, Texas right now, which would, explain the Texans following here. Grew up in Beaverton. I'm almost 49. I turned 49 on February 7th. So We're getting up there in age. The 49 is the new 35 for me, though. I'm going to go with that. I born in San Jose, California, grew up in Beaverton, Oregon, became best friends with Adam way back. So very first day of elementary school, first day of school, I sat next to the guy, and we became best friends, and we've been, best friends ever since. I I recall beating him in checkers, even though I felt like he was much more intelligent than me. So I'm always going to hang my hat on that, and other victories over the years when we were young. But I went to college in California at University of the Pacific, studied math and psychology, ended up going to MIT for a graduate degree in aerospace engineering, essentially, and then moved to Houston 23 years ago to start my career at Johnson Space Center. Fast forward, left that industry in 2006, went into pharmaceutical sales, and kind of never looked back from there. Been doing that for the last 17 years. Met the love of my life just 1 year ago, or 2 years ago. Sorry, met her 2 years ago, got married 1 year ago, and today's our 1 year anniversary. So,
hey, congratulations!
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Now,
so,
I'm sorry, I got to stop just for a second. I know we're interviewing Jay here, but Adam, how does it feel to have somebody say, I always felt he was smarter than me, and then that same person within 2 sentences say, then I went to MIT for aerospace engineering and whatnot. Are you smiling? I mean, you got to be happy about that. That's like a compliment right there.
No, I love the track that we're on, because so Jason and me and then our friend Mitch were the sort of the three musketeers for a lot of our childhood. And Mitch was the absolute lockdown natural athlete. Jay was a natural athlete also, but Mitch was always a little bit better than him in a lot of things, and I was terrible. So you cut to 40 years later, and Mitch is an educator. He's won Teacher of the Year in his district a couple times. Jason was putting people in space and saving people from illnesses, and I'm running a sports league, exactly like you would think would happen based on when we were 9.
Adam, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Well, Jay, listening to your resume, it sounds exactly like the resume of an elite athlete. So tell us, in addition to your academic pursuits, tell us about your sports career, going all the way back to high school. What have you played? At what levels? How'd you do?
Grew up playing sports, always loved sports, was pretty good at pretty much whatever I played, but it was baseball, basketball, football. I was a bowler from like age 6 or 7 till 13. I bowled a 201 when I was 8 or 9 years old, and that was one of my claims to fame, But when I turned 13, I was too cool for bowling anymore, and I had to focus on other things. Primarily focused. So I played football for 1 year when I was 10 years old. When I was 10, we moved to Virginia, across the country, and that was the first year that I was going to play football. And so my dad threw me in a league. I was 10 years old playing with 12-year-olds, and I was getting beat the F up pretty much. And I was not a fan of the pain. So I went ahead and, tapped out at that point. After that year, I'm like, yeah, I'm good with this. I don't want to play this sport anymore in an organized fashion with pads on. I'd rather, go do other things that don't hurt as so much. So focused on basketball and baseball for the rest of my school years, except anyway, baseball became the focus in high school. And then I ended up playing baseball at a Division I school at University of the Pacific, played Division I baseball. And I was a pitcher in college. So that pretty much sums up. I mean, since then, I didn't play at any other levels beyond that. I didn't play at a higher level than Division I college. But I did continue to play recreational sports, right? Flag football, rec league, basketball, and softball from age 25 all the way through pretty much 40. I still was playing slow pitch softball when I was about 42, and that was the last time I played. So,
and you've reached a certain age where you've retired from slow pitch softball. That's
yes.
That's where we are now.
That's right. The mortality's staring me in the face. Yep, we're getting there. So,
So with that impressive athletic resume there, how did you get involved with roofball?
so I mean, having been Adam's best friend growing up and in high school, I was kind of there when, I mean, I feel like I was there when he invented it, but that may not be true. He may have invented it when I wasn't around, and then I ended up playing it with him. But I remember playing, that's how I got involved. I mean, I spent pretty much half of my childhood at Adam's house. I mean, the house where the roofball tournaments are played in Beaverton, I was there pretty much from age 7 all the way up through high school graduation. So that's how I got involved in roofball. I mean, it's pretty much that simple.
Yeah, I think the
It's
first time
interesting.
you
We asked.
played, the first time you probably were hucking a ball at the roof was probably like winter of '98. You were home for the holidays, and I think the sport had been invented that summer, and so then you were there to play in the first tournament. That's my
Yes.
memory. Speaking of that, we just passed the 25th anniversary. You want to feel old? 25th anniversary of that first tournament, which you won, much to my chagrin, edging me out by 2 points in the championship game, which the whole world has seen now on Barstool and other places. So do you have any specific memories from that day?
um, well, I remember it was cold. Now, I mean, I think I remember, you know, we were very competitive growing up. I mean, I was super competitive, wanted to win everything I played. And Adam and I were particularly pretty competitive with each other. I mean, there are stories we could talk about playing basketball with casts on legs, and who won is up for debate. But
Yeah, I did not win that. No. And the
uh,
cast was not on my leg.
but when we got involved in this roof ball deal and we got to the finals and it was Adam and me, I remember feeling very nervous. I was full of nerves. I was anxious as hell because I'm like, I've got to win this. I cannot lose this. But I can't show that. I'm just going to kind of go about my business and kind of, try to act like I'm cool as a cucumber, but inside I was nervous as hell. Um, but I do recall just the the feeling of immense relief that I felt when Adam's last throw. I mean, I was nervous as hell on that last throw because I'm like, I'm probably going to lose this game.
Yeah, you thought I was going to get in around, didn't you?
I thought I mean, I don't even think you needed to get the damn around. You just needed to hit the damn chimney and catch the ball.
That would have tied it. Yeah.
Got it. So anyway, I was thinking, man, something's going to happen here. And uh, by the grace of God or universe or whoever you believe in, whatever forces were at play, the ball ricocheted off to the left, and the car was still in play at that time, Beth's old Volvo. And, somehow Adam wasn't able to catch the ball and I came out on top. And so I don't know. I mean, it was fun times. Now watching the tape back, it's embarrassing as hell. It's humiliating to watch me speak on camera and kind of how awkward and poorly spoken I was. And right. Not that I'm well spoken now, but I mean, back then it was really bad. But yeah, it was fun times, and it was all, those are all, see, that's what's amazing about Adam. He's been taping our lives from childhood all the way up through today. And, at the time, sometimes it seems annoying, but like later on, you're like, man, this is really cool to be able to go back and watch this stuff and kind of, relive these memories. So I'll always be grateful to Adam for that, amongst other things.
Well, you just said a lot there, Jay. First of all, I love the idea that it took something supernatural to prevent me from winning that championship. So now I don't have to feel that bad personally. Like the universe reached down and deflected that ball to make sure that I didn't win. I like that. And also the fact that I start out as annoying, but eventually you come to appreciate me. That's sort of just a general way that I live. So that's great to hear too. It's great that it worked out that way with taping, with the stuff that I create, and with me personally. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, as you just detailed and Adam mentioned, you participated in the first ever official tournament and you won it. And when I started playing, your name was one that just kind of like echoed on. Um, but you've only played in actually 5 tournaments. And Adam, how many has there been total? Like 50 and change?
Including the regionals, we just had the 64th.
Okay. So less than 10% of the tournaments, but you have 3 wins and then a second place and a third place. I'm going to assume, again, going back to your athletic prowess there, especially, I would imagine a D1 pitcher would have a decent chance of throwing a ball that distance, right? But like, what do you think has helped in your success? Is it all physical stuff? Is there mental prep? Is it just going to have fun? Like, what is it?
Well, I mean, I don't know that there's a lot of preparation that I've ever engaged in. I mean, I'd like to say that I've, sat there and meditated for 30 minutes and really got mentally prepared. But I mean, most of the time, Derek, I was, coming in. The reason I even participated in every single one of those tournaments is because I was coming back to visit, and Adam threw together a tournament, that sort of aligned with my visit. So not a whole lot of preparation. I think it had a lot to do with just, being able to throw a football relatively accurately and then having some agility to go, get to the ball and catch it. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got for you. I wish I had more, but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
No, I think that's fine. We ask people that question a lot as far as like what do they do to get into like the actual tournament mode, and I think most people have that kind of attitude of I'm just going to go have their fun, and then there's a small collection of people that are like, nope, I'm thinking about it, I'm preparing for it, I'm there to win.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I think that my ego was pretty big back then. I thought, oh, I'm a Division I athlete. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm going to win this. I should win this. There's no reason why I wouldn't. But at the same time, I was nervous because I better damn well win it, right? Because I mean, my reputation is at stake. But I mean, when's the last time I participated in one of these things?
2014 U.S. Open.
Yeah, so 9 years ago or 10 years ago, pretty much going on 10 years ago.
Well, that was a big day in Derek's life too, because he had basically, he had heads mounted of all the other great roofball players he'd beaten, and he'd never beaten you. So on that day in 2014, he finally got one over on you. So that was a big day for Derek.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking about, is like, has there been a time, I know we've played against each other, but I couldn't remember what the outcome was.
I think we played in 2 tournaments together. You won one, I won one. So I think
there we go.
Now
we're setting something up. But I mean, of course, at the end of the day, Derek's the GOAT. He is the most winningest player of all time. He's got more championships than anybody ever, and
he sure does.
No one's probably ever going to touch that. But
every day I text Adam that just so he knows.
Yeah.
He says, hey, hey, you want to come over, watch the game? Also, I have 13 roofball championships. Talk to you later. Thanks, Derek.
It's in my signature.
Yeah.
But see, all that said, the thing that I always hang my hat on is average scoring, the average score per game.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to hang my hat on right there.
I just looked that up shortly before we started talking, and you got like a little north of 44. Which is crazy. I mean, there are a lot of good players for whom that would be a very good score. So the idea that that's your average, and this is another reason that we got to reboot the Jason Roofball career. Your lowest score ever is your most recent game. The final 3 at the U.S. Open, you had a paltry 31 and got eliminated. So, we got to rectify that. But a couple of the things sort of pertaining to age. One of them is, obviously, you go out there and there's 9 of us just playing outside with this game that we made up the previous year, and you win that championship. So it is what it is at that point. How has your mentality changed, especially with the events of like the last year, of the significance of winning that particular championship? How has that grown over the last 25 years? And then also, you're almost 49. How's your arm?
So the significance of the very first win, that world championship, is that what you meant? Yeah. I'd say, I don't know. I mean, the significance, I'm very proud of it. I feel honored to have been a part of it. I feel just grateful that it happened. I wish I would have been part of more, but I've lived across the country from Oregon for the past 20 plus years, and it's hard sometimes to make it back up there for the tournaments. So it's been preventative to me participating over the years, but certainly very proud of the fact that I was the first champion ever, and that I definitely have some things to be proud of, right? I've got some accomplishments, even though I haven't participated as much as some other people.
And how's that arm?
Yeah, so the arm, I haven't used it much in the last few years, but I mean, okay, so the last time I played softball was 2 years ago, and it's doing just fine. I must admit. So I think we'll be okay if and when I do participate again. There ain't gonna be any issues getting the ball up there to hit the target, but
They always say with basketball players, the jumper's the last thing to go. So you probably got some mileage left on that thing.
yeah, I'd like to believe I do. Yeah.
So the arm is feeling good. You wish you participated in more.
Yes.
We just officially set the date for the next tournament. May the 4th be with you. And the question is, will you be making a trip out? What are the chances that we see a Jason Richards appearance at the next tournament?
Yeah, I did get the invite next. So is it on May 4th or is it April 26th or something?
May
like
4th officially, yeah.
May 4th. May the 4th be with you, obviously. So the chances are better than 50%. I'll say that. They're
right.
better. They're better than they are poor. They're more likely than they are unlikely. Let's put it that way. Does that help?
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
great.
And my follow-up to that is, if you do play, let's flip that coin and say that one comes up heads. What odds do you give yourself to get your 4th title?
Man, I have no idea.
Told you there were some gotcha questions.
Yeah, the odds, I don't know. I mean, how many people are participating in that one?
24.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that's probably bigger than any field I've ever been a part of. So the odds are stacked against me, but I have confidence that I'll at least make the semifinals or something like that, and play somewhere to receive a medal. But I mean, those are pretty lofty statements because I haven't played in over like a decade, and there's a heck of a lot more competition in the mix. The GOAT, Derek Weber, you got, your Mr. Adam Willis, the founder and president. A lot of talent out there. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd say it's a coin flip. It's either I'm going to win it all or I'm going to fail miserably.
So I got one thing I want to share here, and if you're listening to this, it won't. I'll try to describe it here, but it's more of a visual thing. And Adam, I can send a picture if we want to put it in later, but I'll try to get it up here. So this is, I think it's a 1 of 1 in the roofball world. It's a roofball card. It's of Jason Richards, and I think, and there's probably maybe 15, 20 of these in existence, but this one, if maybe the glare's bad, it's autographed by Jason, because I mailed it to you, like, I don't know, within the last couple of years, and you were kind enough to sign it and send it back since I wasn't sure the next time I was going to actually see you. Yeah. Yeah, that's hanging up on my roofball wall. I just wanted to share that with you. It's one of my most prized roofball possessions.
Wow. Thanks, man. That means a lot coming from the GOAT, man. Appreciate you.
Right now, that's got a street value of like 75, 80 cents. So without the signature, it's like 20 cents. So it's a huge upgrade.
Well, I mean, maybe if I win, make it out there in May and on May 4th, and I win the whole thing, maybe we'll get up over $1.
Skyrocket in value. Absolutely. Yeah. All right,
that
Jay. Thank you so much for jumping on today. Obviously, the times you have been able to play, it's been awesome. It'd be great if you could come up again. And I just want to turn it over to you to wrap it up. Any other thoughts you have for Roofball Nation?
Well, Roofball Nation, you know what? Y'all need to be a part of one of these tournaments if you haven't already been part of one, because they're a hell of a lot of fun. Adam puts on a heck of a production. There's a lot of effort that goes into these things, and nobody puts together a better tournament than Adam Willis. Y'all be saying your prayers and eating your vitamins and your Wheaties and whatnot, because I am going to do my best to make it up there on May 4th, and y'all better be ready to put your best foot forward, because JR is coming.
With that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this podcast. Thanks for listening and watching. Adam, appreciate it as always. Jay, great seeing you again, and fingers crossed we'll see you in like three months and change up here, and if not, we'll catch you next time, and worst case, we'll throw the football around a bit. Everybody have a good one.